Hi, welcome back to the strip down of my 1986 Saab 900 T16s Turbo with the flat nose front. It's the earlier type. I've managed to take off the aircon radiator. It was degassed anyway many years ago, so there was no problem there. And what we're trying to assess is the amount of rust to the front end. We know that this corner's gone here, and we know that the inner wheel arch has gone on that side, but what we're looking at is mainly around this oil cooler and the front lower beam. Now the top lower beam unbolts and brings all this panel. So my next step is, once I've decided where I'm going to start the complete strip down and welding, is to take this front panel out and see how far back, because behind here is the gearbox mounting, which differs after about 87, I believe. Mine's, like I say, mine's the flat nose one, so it's a completely different kit to the later ones. The later ones, the bumper is, I think they were modelled off the 99 Turbo from about 80, around about 83 to 86. So this is probably what you would call a Mark 1, which is the flat nose. And it has to have the square bumpers to be the flat nose. The later ones, the mouldings, had like the concertinas in the aero kit. As far as the actual radiator frame, I'm going to have to start rebuilding around these areas, but I'll get that shot blasted, and I'll do that obviously off the car, and then we'll say that's going to be shot blasted. The problem I've got is, to take this off, the bonnet's got to come off. Now, then the end is going to be exposed, so I haven't really got anywhere under cover to actually do it, so it's all going to be under sheet. So I'm going to have to find some way of sort of covering it up, because obviously because we're getting towards the winter and it's been lashing it down all week. Mine's like I say, mine I believe the S pack, which gives you the electric sunroof, the heated seats. Now they're automated heated seats. The later ones had the switch on the dashboard, which were variable heated seats, whereas these are, as you can see on the side, they're the automatic ones, and obviously with the Scottish leather, the anthracite leather, or if it was called anthracite. I saw a video about these mirrors. Mine's also gone. The vanity mirror's gone, but everything everything worked when it was last on the road. So we'll see what it's like when we get the engine fired up. I'm going to get some temporary tyres put on because the tyres are shot. But there's a chap at a local tyre company for a few beers. He will just give me some tyres that hold air while I'm doing the restoration. What else have we got? I think this actual passenger side drive shaft tunnel is going to be okay. Maybe it had an oil leak, and I think if they leaked oil, it also helped to stop the rust. All this is going to be stripped off. Well, obviously we've got this under the wheel arch. Won't know until I get all this body kit off. Now, as far as the aero kit, I think the main section in the middle, or the three panels, I think they were the same on the earlier ones. As I say, it was the later ones, because you can tell when you've got the older style bumpers, because they are actually square and they don't have the concertina in them. And I'll show you when I get to the front bumper. But I think these were all one internal piece, whereas the later ones were segmented. Whether that was for changing them in a crash. Now I've tidied up the boot slightly. I'm going to have to take all the inner panels off to see what's going on behind there, and the passenger seat side panels. Now, on the last video, we were inspecting the boot. We know it's gone here, and obviously I found a hole here, which will keep the car nice and warm, because there's the exhaust. So there's a couple of panels here, and obviously you don't know how far back this has gone until you get this bitumen off. Another hole here. It's obviously leaked in some water through the water seal. A couple of holes here which explain where the jack was. on there, but everything else is sort of. I like to get a coating of rust on it. It at least gives me a few months to actually start the work and find out. At least it sort of holds it at bay. There's a bit in that corner of the rear wing, whereas that corner is perfectly fine. The back balance seems to be okay. The backboard and where the motor is to the electric sunroof, that's all fine. I've explained that the pins have gone for the boot struts, so we're going to have to sort something, whether I can get in behind once I take the side panels off and weld some new ones on, try and get some machined up. I don't know, we'll see that. Tailgate's gone quite bad, but again, it's only gone up so far, so we should be able to cut that back, and I'll get a piece of is it 1mm or 1.2mm, because Saab's used a thicker gauge steel, and get a lip folded on that, and that should be okay. I think there's a small hole where the spoiler's been there, but as you know, things like this aren't. I mean, there's a tiny one there, but apart from that, I think we're good to go with the. Things like that, I'm not really bothered. So we'll go back into Steptoe's yard and I'll show you a few bits and pieces. Right, so the air comrade, let's say it was degassed, so I didn't have a problem there. I didn't have to get anybody out. I've rubbed it down, coat with etch primer, and I bought some from Screwfix. I bought some zinc galvanized spray. I've coated it in that. The vanes were coming loose on the bottom here, so I put some. It was 200 wire cable that I stripped back, so that's copper cable holding it in, and then I've really given it a good spray of galvanized paint, and that seems to have made the fins solid. They're not moving anymore. I explained that's the heat shield between the turbo and the battery. Now these things, I'm trying to save as much as possible. 130 quid for that on eBay, I noticed the other day. So mine's fine. These are the front vents, or of the front valance. One's a vent. The right hand side, the passenger side, or the left hand side, is a vent. The other one's blanked off because that's for the oil cooler. Now I've given these. I got some from Colourtone in Stockport. I got some some of the base Odorado grey just to give it a try. I'll show you quickly. That's the difference. But obviously, it's going to have a full respray anyway, and I think the kit's a slightly different sort of a matte coloured grey, so I'm going to have to trace that. That's the near side headlight, and the lens has obviously gone in that, so that's going to be expensive. That's going to need resilvering. Now, going on to the flat nose, these are the Hale H4 units of the flat nose Saab, which is to say, it was about 83 to 86. And they are flat. They're not sloping. I think there was 2 or 3 different styles of headlights and 2 or 3 bumper upgrades, and obviously the gearbox mounting change. Now, the actual flat nose has flat headlights. I think in 87 they were slightly sloping, and then they had the more smooth round bumpers with the concertina. Whether that was some sort of crumple zone, I really don't know. As I say, the bumpers were segmented, as far as I know, on the internal bit where the foam is. So that's the back unit. I've bought some chrome paint off Amazon. Not impressed. So I need to sort something out. But they're only the fog lights. These are the on mine the driver's shaft side, because we're in the UK. So these are the tunnel drive shaft tunnel repair panels for the underneath. Now I'm going to have to get that in because my front lower wishbone doesn't have any support, so that's one of the first things I'm going to have to do. And then maybe when I cut all the front off and the radiators out, I might have to put some weld some strengthening beams in, just to give the actual chassis, the front end of it, some strength, because obviously the gearboxes lay on it. This is my older spoiler, which is a 2-piece. Those are the new headlights. They're probably the lasting headlight washers that are to go on. That's my front valance, which is two-piece. Again, none of it's rubbed down. The old part numbers 9288 564 Saab and 9288 556 Saab. This is the drive shaft tunnel repair kit. So there's the numbers. These are from Saab bits. That's the number for the bottom, and that is the number from the top, if you can see that. All my little bits that came out, what I'm actually going to do, I've got them all in here. Again, I'll put them in the flow rust, but I'll do those again. I think I'm going to, they're mainly little clips like these. I think they're like end clips or U clips, or there's a certain name for them, but off the top of my head, I can't remember. But I think I'm going to replace all these with A2 stainless steel. Stop all this from happening ever again. That's the front part of the aero kit, and then this is obviously the front bumper. Now it's off. Now you can see on the flat nose, that goes into the side moulding that I showed you earlier, and they are the square type bumpers, and all the internal, as far as I know, is a solid piece. It's not segmented, and this is what gives you the flat nose, that headlights, and the earlier aero kit, or the SPG kit if you're in the United States. Going on, this is what came out. So this is the battery box area. Again, on my mine's the driver's side, but this is the right hand side of the car. That is the beam. From the back of the beam there, that was held onto the suspension strut, and then all this was underneath. So this is basically this is the car. That's the battery box that would sit on top, and then the beam sits on top over here. And it's also, at some point, it definitely wasn't when I had it, since I've had it, it's had a repair. So maybe all this started from maybe a small shunt in its earlier life. It was registered in August '86 from not far away, actually, still in Cheshire. And maybe, let's say, this is where it all started. Maybe there was some sort of tap on the front, and then once it breaks the seam sealer, then it's all started. And that's really why the rest of the car's been protected by the house and under sheets over various years, but that's probably why it started. And going onto the bumper, again, you can tell the flat nose. These obsolete little buggers here in the corner, you can't get them anymore. I believe you can get the 15mm trim, the chrome trim, but I think this was for the US and the English market. This is European. And you can see they even put little sliders in. Well, I presume they were for the reg plate bolts. I really don't know. But the lengths that Saab went to. And obviously this is what they called elk proof. Because I believe that over in Sweden, the actual crash protection was to protect you from elves, hitting elves. Because obviously a lot of the highways, these elks roaming about. So we're nearly at the end. It's more of an update, this, because as I say, the weather's put me off and I've not really been able to do much. But I've done a little bit on my Mini. I've got the 500 watts of Cibi Super Oscar spotlights on the front. These are some Italian job straps that I made. I cut the leather and I bought a simple leather working kit off eBay and some buckles. They're not fastening in yet, but they will be fastened in at the top there and fastened in down here, because I've had to alter the spotlight bracket from Huddersfield Spares, because if you put it where the two mounting bolts are for the bonnet catch, the bonnet won't shut, so I've had to alter that. Rear bumper, I'm just about to order some chrome outer strips. I've got a little problem with the carb. That's I think I need an AAU stage 1, because I've got the stage 1 manifold and I've got the stage 1 exhaust, the stainless steel double Fletcher. So I think it's running maybe a bit lean or a bit rich, I don't know. Something I'm going to have to research and get into. Back seats to go in, dashboard to go in, and then I've got to torque all the bolts, because I've rebuilt both the subframe, so everything's going to have to be torqued up, and then it's near enough ready for MOT once I get it running a little bit smoother. It starts on the button, it's just running rough. And then I'll show you quickly. There's a few of the bits. These are all going to go into storage. All I'm doing is putting a layer of protection on them, putting them away into storage, and then if I've got any spare time over the coming winter, I should be able to have a play in the shed or the garage or Steptoe's yard, whatever. I'll just show you going into Steptoe's in the yard. This is the original. There's tons of service history here. This is the original Saab booklet that the car came with. Saab owners. That's the booklet, and obviously you can see there that it's a flat nose, and it does say in the corner, I presume that's model 1986, and that's all the info about owning a Saab. Lots of different bits and pieces. It's like I say, it was registered in, I think, 22nd of August 86. As far as I know, I have got some of the paperwork because I've got the two original black plastic keys somewhere. And this was when I out on the road. I was a member of the Saab Owners Club. Might do that again because it's always handy for contacts. But I think that's about it for this one. I say it was just a quick update because I've not had the weather, and also I've got this problem. But once I take the radiator outer panel out or off, the bonnet's got to come off with it, and then the engine's exposed to the weather. So, say some people are lucky they have a ramp and a garage. Unfortunately, mine's full of crap. But there we go. Anyway, I hope to do another update soon. It's just basically to keep you all informed. Take care.